Picture this: a crowded restaurant, soft jazz humming in the background, the clink of wine glasses and laughter filling the air. It's a perfect evening, the kind where everything feels just right. I'm sitting at a table surrounded by friends and family, my heart swelling with pride. My daughter, Lily, just graduated college, and we're here to celebrate her. She's radiant, her cap still tilted on her head, her smile brighter than the candles on the tables. My husband, David, stands up, his champagne glass raised, ready to give a toast. 25 years of marriage, and I still look at him with a flicker of that old spark. He's charming, always has been. The kind of man who lights up a room. Everyone leans in, expecting words about Lily's brilliance, her future. But then his smile shifts, something sharp, something cold. "I'm starting a new life," he says, his voice steady. "Without Emily." The room freezes. Forks stop midair. Conversations choke into silence. 50 pairs of eyes swing to me, waiting for the meltdown. The tears, the screams, the scene. My daughter's face crumples, her joy shattered. I feel the weight of every stare, but I don't flinch. I don't cry. Instead, I smile, calm, composed, like I've been expecting this. "Congratulations on your courage, David," I say, my voice smooth as silk. I reach into my purse, pull out a sleek black envelope, and slide it across the table toward him. His eyes narrow, confusion flickering. "What's this?" he asks, his confidence cracking just a fraction. "Something for later," I reply, my tone light but laced with steel. I turn to Lily, her eyes wide with shock, and touch her hand. "Sweetheart, this night is still yours. I'm so proud of you." Then I stand, smooth my dress, and address the room. "Please, enjoy your dinner. Have a wonderful evening." I walk out, my heels clicking against the polished floor, the heavy glass door swinging shut behind me. The murmurs start as soon as I'm gone, but I don't care. Outside, the warm Carolina night wraps around me, thick and humid, but I feel lighter than I have in years. I hear the door slam open behind me, David's voice chasing me, sharp and unsteady. "Emily, what the hell is in this envelope? What are you playing at?" I keep walking, a small smile tugging at my lips. "That envelope, it's the first move in a game I've been planning for months. And David, he's about to learn I'm not the woman he thought I was. My name is Emily Harper, 52 years old mother, wife, or so I thought. And for over 2 decades, I've been the rock holding our family together. I'm the one who balanced the checkbooks, planned the vacations, and made sure Lily had everything she needed to shine. David, he was the dreamer, always chasing the next big idea. A tech startup that tanked, a brief stint as a consultant that went nowhere, a midlife crisis that had him buying a motorcycle he barely rode. I supported every whim, every pivot, putting my own dreams on hold. I wanted to open a community center for women, a place to teach financial literacy, to empower, but there was always a reason to wait. After Lily's in college, I told myself. After David's next venture stabilizes. Always later. 6 months ago, I noticed something off. A withdrawal from our savings, $5,000 to an account I didn't know. Then another $3,000, small enough to slip by. But I've been managing our finances for years. I see everything. I could have confronted him right then, but something stopped me. A gut feeling, maybe. Or the way he'd started avoiding my eyes at dinner. So I dug deeper. Quietly. Bank statements, credit card bills, a paper trail he didn't know I was following. What I found wasn't just an affair, it was a plan. David had been funneling money for over a year, thousands at a time to a secret account. Dinners at rooftop restaurants, a diamond bracelet I never saw, even inquiries about a condo in Miami. All while he told me we needed to cut back for our future. Then there was Natalie, his 35-year-old coworker, all sharp ambition and glossy hair. She'd been to our house, sat at our table, laughed at my stories about raising Lily. I'd even mentored her once, giving her advice on navigating office politics. Now, she was the one David was planning his new life with. I found their text by accident, his phone left open on the counter. "After Lily's graduation," he wrote, "I'll tell Emily it's over. Publicly, so she can't make a scene." Natalie's reply, "And she suspects nothing?" David, nothing. She trusts me completely. I stood there, staring at those words, my heart pounding. But not with pain, with clarity. He thought trust was my weakness. He was wrong. I'm a financial planner by trade, 25 years in the game. I know how money moves, how to follow it, how to protect it. And I remembered something David forgot. Our prenup. Signed when we were young and he was paranoid about my family's modest inheritance. It had a clause, a fidelity clause. Infidelity meant he'd lose everything. The house, the savings, the retirement accounts. He thought it was a relic, irrelevant after all these years. He was wrong about that too. For months I built my case. I hired a lawyer, documented every transfer, every text, every lie. I didn't just prepare for a divorce. I prepared for a reckoning. And I timed it perfectly. David wanted to wait until after Lily's graduation to make his grand exit. I made sure the divorce papers were filed that morning. Hidden in court records he couldn't access yet. He thought he was in control. He had no idea I was always 3 steps ahead. I didn't go back to the restaurant. I drove to our house, a cozy brick colonial in Charleston we'd bought a decade ago. The place where we'd raised Lily, where I'd framed family photos and hosted barbecues. It looked the same, but it felt like a stranger's home. Upstairs, I found David's suitcases already packed, tucked in the back of the closet. He was ready to leave tomorrow, just as his text promised. My phone buzzed. Lily, worried, texting from the restaurant. "Mom, are you okay?" "I'm so sorry," I typed back. "I'm fine, sweetheart. This isn't your burden. Celebrate your day. I love you." I'd shielded her from the truth to protect her final semester. Her moment. She'd be furious I didn't tell her, but I'd make it right later. For now, I had work to do. And that envelope? It held the first piece of a plan that was about to change everything. I'm sitting in our living room, the same one where David and I used to plan our future over late-night coffee, when I hear his car screech into the driveway. The front door slams, and his voice booms through the house. "Emily, where are you?" He's not calm anymore. Not the suave man who dropped his bombshell at the restaurant. I close my laptop, where I've been reviewing the financial records I've spent months compiling, and wait. He storms in, his face red, the black envelope crumpled in his fist. "What is this?" he demands, tossing it onto the coffee table like it's burning him. "You served me divorce papers? Today, of all days?" I tilt my head, my voice steady as a blade. "I thought it was fitting, David. You wanted to start your new life. I'm just helping you along." His eyes flash with something between anger and panic. "You had no right," he starts, but I cut him off. "No right? I had every right, just like you had every right to choose Natalie." He freezes, the mention of her name like a slap. He thought I didn't know. "The prenup's expired, Emily," he says, trying to regain his footing, his voice smug. "Any lawyer will tell you that." I let a small smile slip through. "Actually, David, it hasn't. Section 14. The fidelity clause. It's valid for the entire marriage. Your lawyer might have mentioned that if you'd bothered to hire one before. Today." His face pales, the smugness draining away. He's starting to realize the prenup he pushed for all those years ago, back when he was worried about my family's money, is about to cost him everything. He slumps onto the couch, the same couch where we used to watch old movies with Lily curled between us. "You're being vindictive," he says, his voice softer now, trying a new angle. "What about our history? 25 years, Emily. Doesn't that mean anything?" I study him, this man I loved through job losses, through his impulsive dreams, through every storm. When did he become this stranger? Our history meant everything, I say quietly. That's why your betrayal cut so deep. His phone buzzes in his pocket, and he glances at it, then ignores it. Natalie, I'm sure, wondering why he's not at their new apartment yet, the one he leased behind my back. I tilt my head. Trouble in paradise already? He ignores the jab, but I can see it hit. "You can't do this," he says, his voice rising again. "You can't take everything. Pick up my phone, open an app, and hit play." His voice fills the room, clear and damning. "After the graduation, I'll tell Emily it's over. Publicly, so she won't make a fuss." Natalie's voice follows. "And she has no idea about the money?" David again, "None. Emily's too trusting. It's her biggest flaw." He stares at me horrified. "You recorded us?" He sputters. That's illegal. I shake my head. Not in South Carolina. Not when it's in our home. And not when it's about defrauding me. I didn't invade your privacy, David. I just captured your plans. He stands, pacing now, his hands raking through his hair. This is cold, Emily, even for you. Cold? I almost laugh. For years, I was the warm one. The one who forgave his failures, who picked up the pieces when his ventures crashed. I was the one who worked late at my financial planning job to cover the bills when he decided to find himself, selling artisanal coffee beans for 3 months. My dreams, my community center, my chance to help others, always took a back seat. And now he calls me cold? You made your choices, I say, standing to meet his gaze. Now you get to live with them. His phone buzzes again, and this time he answers, turning away. Natalie, not now, he hisses, his voice low but not low enough. I catch her sharp reply before he hangs up. You said this was handled. I raise an eyebrow. Sounds like Natalie's getting impatient. He glares at me, but there's no fire left in it. He's unraveling and I'm just getting started. You have until tomorrow night to get your things out, I say, picking up my purse. After that, the locks change. I head for the door, but his voice stops me, desperate now. What about Lily? Have you thought about how this hurts her? I turn, my calm cracking for the first time. Don't you dare bring Lily into this. You weren't thinking about her when you were planning your Miami getaway with Natalie. His mouth opens, then closes. He knows I'm right. I walk out, leaving him standing in the living room, his world crumbling under the weight of his own choices. I drive to my sister-in-law, Sarah's house, a cozy craftsman across town. Sarah's been my rock, the one who first tipped me off about David and Natalie at a holiday party last year. She'd seen them together, confronted him, and when he swore it was nothing, she believed him until she didn't. Then she came to me. Sarah greets me with a hug, her eyes searching mine. You okay? She asks, pulling me inside. Better than I thought, I admit. Sinking into her couch with a glass of wine she's already poured. Lily called me, she says, her voice soft. She's a mess, but she's on her way. I nod, bracing myself. I'd kept Lily in the dark to protect her, but now the truth is out, and I'll have to face her hurt. What was in that envelope? Sarah asks, curiosity sparking. I tell her. The divorce papers, the evidence of David's financial games, the prenup that's about to turn his world upside down. She laughs, sharp and bitter. He insisted on that prenup to protect his startup dreams. Now it's his nightmare. The doorbell rings and my heart clenches. Lily. She walks in, still in her graduation dress, her eyes red from crying. She throws herself into my arms, sobbing. Why didn't you tell me? She whispers. I stroke her hair, my voice steady despite the ache in my chest. I wanted you to have your moment, sweetheart. You earned it. She pulls back, wiping her eyes. Dad ruined it anyway. We sit, and I tell her everything. How I found the money trail. The text, the plan to leave me humiliated. Her face hardens, but there's pride there too. You're so strong, Mom, she says. I want to be like you. I squeeze her hand. She has no idea how much I need to hear that. But David? He's not done yet. I know he'll come for me and I'm ready. The next morning I wake up at Sarah's. The weight of yesterday still heavy but somehow lighter too. For the first time in years, I'm not waking up to David's snores or his half-hearted promises about his next big idea. I'm waking up to possibility. My phone's already buzzing. Texts from friends at the restaurant. Some sympathetic, some fishing for details. I ignore them all except one from Lily. I'm okay, Mom. Just need some time. Love you. I text back, promising we'll talk soon. She's hurt, but she's tough, like me. She'll come around. I'm sipping coffee in Sarah's kitchen when the doorbell rings. Sarah glances at me, her eyes narrowing. You expecting someone? I shake my head, but my gut twists. I know who it is before she opens the door. David's voice carries through the house, loud and demanding. Emily, we need to talk. Sarah leads him in, and there's Natalie trailing behind, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. Her confident smile from last night is gone, replaced by nervous glances. David's different too, his charm replaced by raw anger. This has to stop, he says, planting himself in the middle of Sarah's living room. "Unfreeze the accounts, Emily. We can work this out like adults." Lily, who'd been in the guest room, steps out, her arms crossed. "You've got some nerve, Dad," she says, her voice sharp. "Showing up here with her?" David flinches like he didn't expect her to be here. "Lily, this isn't about you," he says. But she laughs, a bitter sound I've never heard from her before. "You made it about me when you turned my graduation into your soap." "Opera!" Natalie shifts, her face flushing. "Greg, maybe we should go," she says, her voice small. He shakes her off, his focus on me. "Emily, be reasonable. You're blowing this out of proportion." I stay seated, my coffee cup warm in my hands. "Reasonable?" I echo, my voice calm but cutting. Was it reasonable to move thousands of dollars behind my back? To plan a new life with her while I was paying for Lily's textbooks? Natalie's head snaps up, her eyes on David. "Thousands?" she asks, her voice sharp. "You said it was just a small account." "Oh, this is rich. David's been lying to her too. Feed him." "Your personal account? How much is in there, Greg?" He doesn't answer, and I can't help the small smile that creeps onto my face. Sarah steps in, her voice firm. "You've said enough. David, you're upsetting Lily. Leave." He turns to his sister, betrayed. "You're taking her side?" Sarah doesn't blink. "You took her side when you lied to me about Natalie last Christmas. I gave you a chance to fix it. You didn't." David's face crumples, the realization hitting that even his sister's done with him. Lily steps closer to me, her hand on my shoulder. "Just go, Dad," she says, her voice breaking but strong. "I can't even look at you right now." Natalie tugs at his arm again, and this time he lets her pull him toward the door. But before he leaves, he turns back, his eyes on me. "This isn't over, Emily. I'll fight you." I meet his gaze, unflinching. I'm counting on it. The door closes behind them, and the room feels lighter, like a storm passing. Lily sinks onto the couch beside me, her head on my shoulder. "I'm sorry, Mom," she whispers. I wrap my arm around her. "You have nothing to be sorry for. This is his mess, not yours." Sarah pours us more coffee, her eyes gleaming with something like pride. "You're a force, Emily. That envelope. What else is in it?" I smile, sipping my coffee. "Just the beginning," I say. "The divorce papers were one thing, but the evidence I've gathered, bank records, texts, emails, it's a fortress. David thought he could outmaneuver me, but he forgot who's been keeping our lives together all these years. I'm not just fighting for what's mine. I'm fighting for the life I put on hold for him." The next 3 days pass in a blur. I meet with my lawyer, Patricia, a sharp woman who's been in my corner since I first showed her the bank statements. "You've built an airtight case," she tells me, flipping through my files. "The prenup, the infidelity, the financial misconduct, he doesn't stand a chance." I nod. But there's no triumph in it yet. This isn't about winning. It's about reclaiming what's mine. Lily spends the days with me at Sarah's, and we talk, really talk, for the first time in months. She's angry, not just at David, but at me for keeping her in the dark. "I could have handled it, Mom," she says one night, her voice fierce. "I know," I tell her, "but I wanted you to have one last moment of normal before everything changed." She hugs me, and I know we'll be okay. The morning of the hearing, I wake up feeling steady, like the ground's finally solid under my feet. David's been texting, pleading for a meeting, but I don't respond. Let him sweat. Patricia meets me at the courthouse, a small brick building downtown. David's there with a lawyer who looks barely out of law school, his tie slightly crooked. David's choice, as always, is impulsive and sloppy. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with gray hair and sharper eyes, calls us to order. Her glasses perched on her nose. "This document is clear," she says, her voice firm. "The fidelity clause is active, and the evidence of financial misconduct is compelling." David's lawyer stammers, trying to argue the prenup's outdated, but the judge cuts him off. "It's valid for the marriage's duration, no expiration." David's face goes white, and I feel a quiet satisfaction. The judge rules to keep the accounts frozen, the house in my name, and schedules a full hearing in a month. As we leave, David corners me in the hallway, his voice low. Emily, please. 25 years, doesn't that mean anything? I look at him, the man I once loved, and feel nothing but resolve. It meant everything, I say, until you threw it away. I walk past him, the click of my heels echoing in the quiet corridor. He's not done fighting, but neither am I, and I've got the upper hand. The weeks after the hearing feel like stepping into a new world. Charleston's spring air is thick with jasmine, and for the first time in years, I notice it, really notice it. I'm not just going through the motions anymore. Friends call, some offering support, others sniffing for gossip. I keep it short. David and I are done. Life moves on. I don't need their pity or their curiosity. I'm building something new, something mine. The house, still in my name thanks to the prenup, feels different now. I walk through it, past the photos of Lily's school plays, our beach vacations, David's fleeting hobbies. I don't take them down. They're part of my story, but they don't define me anymore. David's world, though, it's falling apart. Word spreads fast in our tight-knit circle. The successful entrepreneur, the doting husband, it's all unraveling. His business, a tech consulting firm he's been coasting on for years, is struggling without my financial know-how. The frozen accounts mean he can't make the big moves he promised. Natalie, the Miami condo, the flashy car. I hear through Sarah that Natalie's already pulling away. She found out his savings were mostly our money. Sarah tells me over coffee, her eyes gleaming. She's not sticking around for a guy who's broke. I laugh, not out of cruelty, but at the irony. David always sold dreams, but he forgot to check the fine print. I'm not sitting idle. I've rented a small office downtown, a bright space with big windows and room for growth. For years, I dreamed of a community center to teach women about money, how to save, invest, protect themselves. Now I'm making it real. Harper Financial Empowerment, I call it. My first clients are a widow, navigating her late husband's estate, and a single mom escaping a bad marriage. I sit with them, explaining budgets, investments, how to spot red flags in their finances. It's work that lights me up, work that matters. I'm not just a planner anymore. I'm a lifeline. Word spreads, and soon I've got a waiting list. Women like me, women who've been blindsided, find me. I'm building something bigger than I ever imagined. Lily's been my anchor through it all. She's taken a job in Raleigh. A marketing gig she's thrilled about, but she visits often. "You're killing it, Mom," she says one weekend, sprawled on my couch with a glass of iced tea. "I always knew you were tough, but this, it's next level." I smile, but I see the hurt in her eyes when she talks about David. He's been calling her, trying to play the victim, saying I'm overreacting. She's not buying it, but it stings. "He's still your dad," I remind her gently. "You don't have to choose sides." She shakes her head. "He chose for me when he humiliated you." I don't push her. She'll find her way with him in time. For now, she's my biggest cheerleader, and that's enough. David's not giving up, though. He sends emails, long ones, pleading for a compromise. "We can split things evenly," he writes. "No need for a fight." I don't respond. He made his bed, and I'm not here to fluff his pillows. Patricia, my lawyer, keeps me updated. The financial discovery is brutal for him. Every transfer, every purchase laid bare. He thought he was clever, hiding money in that separate account. But I've tracked it all. The prenup's fidelity clause is ironclad, and his infidelity is undeniable. Texts, emails, even a receipt for a weekend in Key West with Natalie. It's all there. Patricia grins when she shows me the file. "He's got nothing," she says. "You've got him cornered." The final hearing looms, set for what would have been our 26th anniversary. Poetic in a way. I spend the weeks preparing, not just for court, but for the life I'm building. My office is buzzing now, with 2 part-time assistants and plans to expand. I'm speaking at a local women's conference next month, sharing my story, not the gossip, but the strength. How to protect yourself, how to rise when someone tries to break you. I'm nervous, but it feels right. This is who I was always meant to be. The morning of the hearing, I dress carefully, a tailored blazer, my favorite pearls. I'm not dressing for David or the judge. I'm dressing for me. The courtroom is quiet, the same judge presiding with her no-nonsense stare. David's there, looking worn, his young lawyer fidgeting beside him. The evidence is presented: bank records, texts, the prenup. His lawyer tries to argue, claiming the transfers were business expenses, but the judge isn't having it. "The fidelity clause is clear," she says, her voice like a gavel. Mr. Harper violated it, and the financial misconduct compounds the issue. She rules in my favor. The house, my retirement accounts, 75% of our joint investments, all mine. David gets his personal account, his struggling business, and a small apartment he can barely afford after legal fees. As we leave, he catches me outside the courtroom, his eyes tired. "I messed up, Emily," he says, his voice low. "Is there any chance we could—" I cut him off, gentle but firm. "That ship sailed, David. You made your choice." He nods, and for the first time, I see something like regret in his eyes. "I hope you find what you're looking for," he says. I don't respond. I don't need his well wishes. I've already found what I was looking for. Myself. Back at home, I sit on the porch, watching the sunset over Charleston's historic rooftops. My phone buzzes with a text from Lily. "You did it." "Mom, so proud." I smile, feeling the weight of the past year lift just a little more. The envelope I gave David that night at the restaurant wasn't just a weapon. It was a key. It unlocked a door I didn't know existed, one that led to a life I'd put on hold for too long. I'm not just Emily, the wife, the mother. I'm Emily Harper, mentor, businesswoman, survivor, and I'm just getting started. 6 months later, I'm standing in my new office, a sunlit space downtown with my name on the door, Harper Financial Empowerment. The walls are lined with photos. Lily at her graduation, me speaking at that women's conference, my team of associates who've become like family. The waiting list for clients is growing. Women from all walks of life, divorcees, widows, young professionals who want to take control of their finances. I'm not just helping them with numbers. I'm giving them confidence, the kind I wish I'd had years ago. Every day feels like a step forward, like I'm finally living the life I was meant to live. Lily visits often, her new job in Raleigh keeping her busy but not too busy to check in. "You're a rock star, Mom," she says one Sunday, helping me hang a new whiteboard in the office. "I mean, look at this place. You built this from nothing." I laugh, but she's not wrong. This was my dream, buried under years of David's plans and promises. Now it's real and it's mine. She talks about her dad sometimes. Their conversation's strained but slowly mending. "He's different now," she tells me. "Quieter, like he's finally seeing what he lost." I nod, but I don't dwell. David's story isn't mine anymore. Word about David trickles in through mutual friends. His business is barely afloat. His charm no match for the reality of his choices. Natalie's gone. Moved on to a wealthier prospect in Miami. I hear she left when she realized David's fortune. It was mostly smoke and mirrors. The condo deal fell through, the car repossessed. He's living in a one-bedroom apartment now, scraping by. Part of me feels a twinge of pity, but it's fleeting. He built this cage. I just handed him the key. My social circles shifted too. Some friends faded away, uncomfortable with the drama or loyal to David's version of events. Others rallied around me, Sarah chief among them. She's at my house most weekends, bringing wine and stories from her teaching job at the university. "You're an inspiration," she tells me one night, raising her glass. "You took a punch and came back swinging." I clink my glass against hers. "I didn't just swing," I say. "I rebuilt." The prenup was the turning point, but it wasn't the whole story. That black envelope I slid across the table at the restaurant held more than divorce papers. It held my freedom. I'd spent months planning, not out of spite but survival. Every bank statement, every text, every piece of evidence was a brick in the wall I built to protect myself. David thought he could outsmart me, but he forgot who kept our family afloat all those years. I wasn't just the supportive wife. I was the strategist, the one who saw the patterns he missed. Sometimes I think back to that night in the restaurant, the moment everything changed. I could have crumbled, let his announcement break me, but I didn't. I smiled, I walked out, and I took control. That's what I teach my clients now. Control isn't about avoiding pain. It's about choosing what comes next. I chose myself. I chose Lily. I chose the life I'd put on hold for a man who didn't see my worth. Last week I got a letter from David. Handwritten. A rarity for him. "I'm sorry," it read. "I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. I hope you're happy, Emily. You deserve it." I read it once, then tucked it away. I don't need his apologies. I'm not angry anymore. Not really. Anger's a heavy thing to carry, and I've got too much to build to hold on to it. I'm happy. Not the fleeting kind that comes from a moment, but the deep kind, the kind that comes from knowing who you are. Lily's coming for dinner tonight, and we're planning a trip, just the two of us, to the Outer Banks. A celebration of her new job. My new business, our new normal. As I lock up the office for the day, I catch my reflection in the glass door. I look different. Not older, not younger, but stronger. The woman staring back at me isn't the one who sat at that restaurant table, waiting for her world to collapse. She's the one who rebuilt it brick by brick, choice by choice. I step outside, the Charleston evening warm and alive with possibility. My phone buzzes, a new client, a referral from the conference. I smile, already thinking about how I'll help her, how I'll show her she's stronger than she knows. That's my purpose now, my legacy. David thought he was writing the end of our story, but he was wrong. He gave me the pen, and I'm writing a new one. One where I'm not just the wife, the mother, the betrayed. I'm Emily Harper, businesswoman, mentor, force. The envelope was my exit strategy, but it was also my beginning. And this is just the start.